as the Minnesota Vikings let former defensive backs coach Jerry Gray just walk across the river to Green Bay, which is still stupid. But they replaced him with a young, up-and-coming defensive back coach in Daronte Jones. Who? Daronte Jones. That's right. So let's get to know the new man who is in charge of getting the Vikings cornerbacks' heads out of their arses. All right. So Jones played defensive back at Morgan State back in the day in his native Maryland from 1997 to 2000. He then immediately jumped into coaching, serving as an assistant/defensive coordinator at a number of high schools as well as a couple of small colleges before landing eventually as cornerbacks coach on Rick Neuheisel's 2010 UCLA Bruins team. Nailed it. He then jumped to the professional ranks. No, not the NFL. CFL, north of the border, 2011, to coach DBs for the Montreal Alouettes. Under former Bears coaching legend Mark Trestman, which, remember, he won like 9 Grey Cups. He was just a stud, and then he went to the Bears and was just like, pride of St. Louis Park, though. Hashtag one of us, represent. He then jumped to Hawaii. Now, it's nice when you go from Quebec to Hawaii. It's a nice little upgrade weather-wise, right? So he jumped there for 3 years, from 2012 to 2014, as defensive backs coach under Norm Chow, who he worked with at UCLA. Also, he served as assistant to the regional head coach in 2014, his final season in Honolulu. 2015. Speaking of weather jump, so he went from Hawaii to Wisconsin. Yeah, he was a Badger. Don't hold that against him. 1 year, 2015, under Paul Christ. He coached the defensive backs there. I then made the jump to the NFL, big-time Sun, in 2016, serving for 2 years as assistant defensive backs coach in Miami under now Jets head coach Adam Gase, because why not? He also worked with longtime defensive backs coach Lou Anarumo. Nailed it. Jones has spent the last 2 years in Cincinnati as DB coach, as well as working under Anarumo. Again, nailed it, as he became the defense coordinator on Zach Taylor's first staff in 2019. Last year, Jones helped Dequise Denard, who was a borderline first-round bust out of Michigan State. He had his best season of his career, as well as second-year fifth-rounder Darius Phillips had a pretty decent year. Intermittently had a relatively short season, but he got those Cincinnati Bengals cornerbacks playing relatively well. So, question is, what does Jones bring to the table? No idea. Young coach, relatively unknown, relatively clean slate. No crossover with Zimmer or any of the existing defensive staff. I guess he did serve in Miami with Marvin Malouf, who was the Vikings special teams coordinator. So, okay. But Zimmer does love his corners, and he's entrusting Jones to oversee them. So, frankly, that's good enough for me. Mission 1, whoever is here at cornerback, fix it. Fix it. If Rhodes, by some miracle or some just act of God, is still a Viking, or Trey Waynes is re-signed, Mackenzie Alexander is hopefully brought back, Holton Hill will hopefully not be suspended, as well as Mike Hughes is going to be here. So whoever's left at cornerback, just get them, get their heads out of their arses, as well as miscommunications. You saw that a number of times last year where maybe imagined or maybe perceived or actually legit, where there did seem to be some miscommunication, including amongst veterans like Xavier Rhodes and Harrison Smith, that resulted in big plays, blown coverages, etc. So they need to fix that up. But frankly, if the Vikings are able to retain Anthony Harris, which they should, long-term extension, franchise tag him, as well as you got Harrison Smith back there. That's already a great start. And then Jones just needs to work out the quarterbacks a little bit. But your thoughts, Daronte Jones, a new Vikings DB coach. Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But the next time, Skull, production value.